Hi everyone, this is Jim Lowe, and I'm actually here in our prayer room at the church, where earlier today I and another had the privilege of spending some time in prayer praying for you. And on behalf of South Point Church, I want to wish you a good morning or good day or even good evening. Indeed, whenever this should find you, we hope that you and yours had a very Merry Christmas. Now, while it's sad that Christmas has come and gone, no doubt, like me, you are ready to wave goodbye to 2020 and ring in the new year. Not simply for all the changes we hope to see in 2021, but also for the changes that we hope to see in ourselves. Which, as I weigh all the changes I'd like to see in my own life, indeed there are many, I can't help but think about South Point and the life of our church in the year ahead. And while we anticipate God will continue to do what only He can, both in our midst and through us, we also expect to experience the ever-present hardships of our broken world, especially as we consider, as Jesus Himself tells us, the hardships that are sure to come our way when we follow Him in His way. Which actually brings me to our watchword for 2021, the year ahead of us, that being devoted. Church, if we as individuals and as a whole hope to overcome all the hardships ahead of us, if we hope to be faithful to the mission that God Himself has set before us to reach the lost of Tallahassee, we must be devoted to God and to each other. And that said, as a pastor, I'd be remiss if I simply allowed us to define devotion as does our day. Right? For today, devotion, both the term and the practice, have come to mean fully committed, so long as it's convenient. I'm all in, so long as all I want and all I think I need are provided. It's a top priority that I'll try to put on the list. It's second to none, it just doesn't seem to fit my schedule. And while we know better, that this is how we've come to understand devotion, is actually evidenced by the fact that we question and we qualify and even recoil from the Bible's definition and depiction of it. For instance, I can think of no better picture that the Bible paints of devotion than what we see all the way back at the birth of the church, where these newly established Christians, this newly established body of believers, shows us what we are to be devoted to, what true devotion actually looks like, and what actual devotion yields. And here, what we read of this church community in Acts 2:42-47. And they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and the fellowship, to the breaking of bread and the prayers. And awe came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were being done through the apostles. And all who believed were together and had all things in common. And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need. And day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to their number day by day those who were being saved. Having truly devoted themselves day in and day out to the apostles' teachings and the fellowship of their fellow believers, awe came upon them as God saw fit to miraculously manifest Himself in their midst. And we see that such devotion yielded unity in position and purpose, which birthed a community so close-knit that it cares for each other by meeting each other's needs at the great expense of self. We see content, generous hearts that praise God and find favor with all the people. And last but not least, we see a way of daily life through which the Lord is pleased to bring those that were dead to life on a daily basis. Now, I have no doubt that if I were to ask every one of you, is this not what we would like to see here at South Point? I know that each of you would respond with an emphatic yes. But as we come to recognize that while all of it, from the start to the finish, it all relies on the power and grace of God, but by God's design, it also depends on the devotion of His people. And when we recognize this, we come to recognize the real question being asked of us is, will we be devoted? Perhaps a litmus test to see where you yourself stand in regards to this would be to simply devote yourself this week to reading and rereading Acts chapter 2, verses 42 to 47. And as you do, pray over it, asking God to reveal His word, His heart, and His will for you and yours as you do so. And as we, South Point, as we look forward to 2021, let us do so in such a way so that when it is all said and done, we can actually look back on it and uncompromisingly declare, we were devoted. Lastly, again, on behalf of all of us to all of you, Happy New Year.